This is part two. Create a net for success for your child. I'm talking to the busy professional parents who are creating success and building legacy for your children and for your families. And you have wondered, do I have what it takes? Do I have enough time? Am I doing this thing right? If that's you, raise your hand. Do I have what it takes? Do I have enough time? Am I doing this right? I sit down with parents all the time, and there is a concern or question around the decisions that we're making, the relationship that we have with our children, and whether or not we're seeing the results or seeing what we want to see. And so when I ran across the article about the Golden State Bridge safety net, I started to think about the fact that in this parenting journey, we need to create a net for success, which means from point A to point B is, or E, is a straight line. It's unidirectional. Or you can go back and forth, I guess. But with a bridge, you can only go straight, right? So what tends to happen is that the road to success, to financial success, to academic success, to physical, spiritual, mental success, it's winding. And so what we have to do as parents is create a bridge. And I want to tell you the definition of bridge. A bridge is a structure carrying a road, path, or railroad or canal across a river, ravine, road, railroad, or other obstacle. Did you hear that? Obstacle. A bridge is a structure that carries a road over an obstacle. So I hope that that resonates with you because school is not easy. The schooling process is not easy. Education is not easy. It's not easy. If you can think back to your experience as a child, many times we were excited about school, and sometimes we were frightened, fearful, irritated, annoyed by school. And so it really boils down to there are obstacles embedded. There are academic, there are social, there are emotional obstacles. As adults, we say life be lifing, right? School be schooling, okay? School is made of and comprised of human beings, and human beings experience life, they experience emotions, they experience all the things. And so school can be a challenge, it can be an obstacle. And if you are a school parent, you know that it's not a straight shot, that at moments you need to build the safety net and build this bridge. So I was reading up and looking at the structure that was built in San Francisco over the Golden State Bridge. And what I thought was really fascinating was that when I read it, I'm gonna look it back up, that it extended out 20 feet. That's really, really wide, right? And it reminds me of the story in the Bible, of course, where Jesus was like, cast your net on the other side. And the disciples had been casting. They were fishermen. They like, I do this. I does this. Like I'm a professional. But Jesus, because you, we're gonna give it a try. And so they cast the net on the other direction and in the other direction. And what it reminds me of is if you see a picture, and I wish I could show you, but just Google it, right? Look it up. A picture of this bridge, there are nets on both sides that extend. What I read was 20 feet. And I tried to imagine um, as they're building this, what that it has to be massive, right? The net will be placed 20 feet below the sidewalk, extending out 20 feet from the bridge. So 20 feet down and 20 feet wide on both sides of the bridge. True net of support, right? A true net for literally for life. The reason why this bridge was built is because over 2,000 people have lost their lives due to suicide. And that's just the number that they can count. Either those were observed or those were bodies that were found. And so the number exceeds that, I'm sure. I'm certain of it. And on average, every year, 30 people are going to the Golden State Bridge with hopelessness, with helplessness, with feelings of it would be better for me to end my life. And I, for one, know that school, encounters at school, situations at school, relationships at school can cause a child. I know this from my own personal experience. It's not something I read in a book or someone had to tell me, that circumstances that begin or get stirred up at school can lead to feelings of hopelessness and helplessness, and that it would be better if I just wasn't here. And so the net of success that I'm talking about is, yes, a net of success like tutoring or support or after school activities. But the net of success that I'm talking about is also the net that helps your child understand and grow and find success socially and emotionally as well. I want you to do this. Think about what you know about your child's school day. What do you know? What do you know about the way that they interact when they get to school? Like, who are their friends? Who do they hang out with? What do they spend time talking about? And it's okay if what you know is minimal, if you don't know a lot yet. There's always an opportunity for you to build relationship through conversation. So, building a net for your child's success looks like you creating systems. System is like a way of doing things. This is the process. This is having some organization or some flow, some structure to how you support your child. So setting a time that you work on um, schoolwork or homework or classwork or projects, setting up a time that you talk, just talk about school. No pressure, just let what comes come. And asking the question, how was your day at school? Is not always the one that's going to bring out the answers that you're searching for. So you may ask a question like, what surprised you most? Did you experience any disappointment today? What's your favorite subject and why? What teacher do you like the most or the least? I mean, those are questions that really get to the heart of what's going on at school. So creating systems, s- systems to me, especially as a school parent, creating systems means a set schedule. It means a set time. I could just say creating schedules because there's a way of doing things. For instance, um, in my home, wake up time for the rest of the house, I get up early usually, but wake up time is 7 to 7:15. That gives us more than enough time to um, cuddle, snuggle, work through wanting to get up or being super excited to get up, being able to have conversation, get a little breakfast in. Like we can do a lot in the hour that we have if we're waking up between 7 and 7:15. It looks like scheduling what days do what chores get done and sticking to them. I've actually shifted, I don't know why I'm sharing this, but I shifted laundry to the weekend. Like during the week, we just gonna wear these clothes and we're gonna put them where they need to be so that we know they need to be washed. And on the weekend, we'll wash them, put them away, and start brand new. A simple shift and a small change has allowed me to be more present as a school parent, to show up and see what is going on. Good morning. What's going on with my son throughout the day? So let me know if you're watching live, if you have a system or you have something that you schedule that supports your child's school success or their success in general. Great day. Yes. Great morning. Great day. How you doing, Vern? So great to see you. I love when you hop on. We're talking about creating a net for success, and the net for success for our children looking like establishing and creating systems. The other part is establishing boundaries. How far can we push and can we go? Because a part of growth and development, a part of our children becoming independent and learning along the way is them being able to um, know how to establish and to abide by boundaries, not just the boundaries we place, but the boundaries that are placed on us as citizens, boundaries that are placed on us as children of God, boundaries that we get to exercise in relationship with others, boundaries about school and about work. So the boundaries that we teach our children to, good morning, that we teach our children to establish are so vitally important. Boundaries for me growing up, and y'all might be able to resonate with this. Having some personal boundaries, some values, and some morals kept me on a specific path or in a specific lane. In fact, as I am older, y'all, I've been out of high school for many years. We about to celebrate a reunion, a double-digit reunion in a few years. I don't know why I'm being cryptic. Like, I'm just not gonna tell you how long I've been out of high school, but you can guess. It's been a long time. And as I think about who I was in high school and some of the boundaries I established for myself and for those around me, I understand that those have contributed to or taken away from my path of success currently. And that is not to say that our children can't still find success, but establishing and understanding what boundaries are, boundaries over your mind, boundaries over your mouth, boundaries over your body, boundaries with your habits, right? Yes, boundaries are so important. So you can drop in what are some boundaries you have. I know last night, because my little one has been home all week with me, and that's not our usual routine, but I have made it. Like I wrote out a schedule. We done made it a scheduled day. The boundaries yesterday were like this yelling and screaming and stomping your foot. There's gonna be a consequence. We're gonna have to take a break. Call it think seed, call it timeout, call it pause play. We're going to have to take a break. And my son is such a beautiful child that he understood the assignment. Like, I don't want to keep having to take these breaks. Let me find some strategies. Let me use some strategies mom has given me to work through how I'm feeling. But I'm still waiting for marriage to make babies. Yes. Single friends in their 30s. I do. I actually do. Look, hit me up. I do. Um, and I would love to play matchmaker. But it is so important to have those boundaries because our children learn from what we do more than what we say. And so, do you have boundaries on your time? Do you have boundaries on your tech? I have to watch myself. If I'm like, hey, put your it's my phone, but put the phone away, or no more TV time, or we listen to a lot of music, but electronics, I'm working to even limit my usage because if my child or your children are seeing you on tech and you're like, put the device away, even though you may be working from it or it may be something you need to do, it may be a top priority, it's we're dealing with not fully developed brains and minds. And so we have to make the adaptations in our personal and our own behavior so that it translates to them. And then I want you to think about ensuring success for your child is not only building a bridge between home and school. Like here's the way that you're successful and drawing that. Like if you want to have a high paying, highly satisfying career, if you want to have good, healthy relationships, if you want to feel purpose and um, know that you're full of worth and value, right? I just gave you three different lanes, and those could be bridges. But you need a safety net. You need a net of support, a net for success for the times when, sorry guys, for the times when your child may get off the path because that's what we do as we grow and we learn and develop. And the reason why I'm using the safety net for those of you who may be just joining is because the Golden State Bridge has built a safety net. It's to keep people from jumping off of the Golden Gate Bridge. because on average, 30 people or more are dying from suicide every year. Hundreds more are stopped from harming themselves. So, a physical barrier is needed to stop this tragedy. Doesn't that sound like a boundary? A physical barrier, something to catch them, something to prevent them, something to shift their mind to think maybe this is not my only option, maybe this is not the best option, or even to delay their decision so that someone around them, someone who sees them, someone who notices them, who is in proximity to them, in relationship with them, in community with them, can cause them to make a different decision. Okay. Um, you can't see the, wait, let me just read it. Engineers designed the net to minimize impacts to bridge views and appearance. It's also been designed to minimize interference with the daily operations and maintenance of this iconic structure. You have to look very carefully to see the gray steel net designed in the picture above. This is the Golden Gate Bridge website, and they're actually explaining what this bridge is and um, how it came to be. It is 20 feet, it's going to be built 20 feet below the sidewalk and extended 20 feet out from the bridge. And it was chosen through a public process solicited, which also solicited input from the community. And I love that. It takes a village. It's not something that you do alone. And speaking of that, I love coming on live because I know that even in my parenting journey, I need support. And because my background is 14 years of education, in education, right? Teaching, training teachers, working within school systems, working with school administrators and school leaders, it is so vitally important for me to use what I know about school and infuse it what I know and am learning about parenting and make sure that I am showing up as a school parent, thinking about success in school and success in life, thinking about academics and social and emotional success. Our mayor's 27-year-old. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about suicide or ending life is that it's it's I'm trying to use the right words, but really it's just not going to make sense to everyone because there's so many layers. So we think about celebrities, or those who are wealthy, or those who um, seem to be having reached a level of success, and we may wonder what would cause them. And some of this is deep rooted in their experience in relationship with others. And that is why I love I love building relationships. Like, I love asking questions. I love listening. I love that parents have, um, you have influence with your children. And guess what? You have decisions to make in the next several weeks as report cards start coming out and school reports start coming and teachers start sharing and you begin to ask questions and have conversations with your children in your school, your child's school. You have decisions to make that can enhance and elevate the relationship that you have with your child. That's a powerful position to be in. Like, you can create a net for success. You understand a net? A net catches things, right? But in this instance, with the Golden Gate Bridge, a net preserves life. You gave life and you get to preserve it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I want you to think about your role. And then I need to share the last tip. So, creating systems, which really is the structure of a schedule, creating boundaries, which is teaching about morals and values so that there are physical and also emotional and social boundaries set up, and then building a relationship of trust and support. It's the relationship, trust and support. That means that your child can bring you how they're feeling, how they're doing, what they're experiencing, and you will support them, not belittle them, not reprimand them, not punish them, but you will support them. I sent this scripture to a friend this morning in 1 John 4:18. There is no fear in love. And I know you want to establish a loving relationship with your children. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. For fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fears has not been perfected in love. Perfect love casts out fear. So, what if your role as the next creator? What if your role as parent? What if your role as parent plus or guardian or village member is to cast out the fear? The fear that I'm not enough, the fear that I'm a failure, the fear that I'll never bounce back from this, the fear that I'm not intelligent, the fear that I can't do it, the fear that, I mean, the list goes on. But what if through your relationship, through your systems and structure and schedule of support, what if through setting up boundaries, you could cast out the fear through love? That's powerful. And you're in a position to do it. If you're a busy parent, if you're an educated parent, if you got kids in school, if you are like, I'm building legacy, I'm doing what I need to do, I'm doing what's best, you are in a position of power. I did so well in school because I knew both my parents loved me. Absolutely. That solid structure for in a family gives you wings. It absolutely does. And so that's why in virtual tutoring, we support the students and we work with the parents. But specifically, I want to talk to and think about you as a parent. I don't know. Y'all tell me. I don't know many people who are really focused on um, talking to the parents, not through them, okay? Not like I'm just giving you information that you need to share or you need to do this, but like I want to speak to you. And so I open up my calendar every month for free discovery calls. It's a 15-minute call where we get to get really clear on what's your vision for success? What are your goals? Yes, you, parent, for you and for your child, for your family and for your babies. What is your vision? What are your goals? And I help you to take the next step. I want to help you take the next step. Maybe the next step is tutoring. Maybe the next step is the Parent Plus community. Maybe the next step is getting connected with an education consultant or professional or a coach. I want to help you take the next step. And taking the next step often requires us to go back to the beginning and get clear on the vision. So vitally important. Again, when I read about this net, I thought this is such a good idea, but this is also something that is important for parents to understand. Not only have I built a bridge, you may say, I make the money, we live in the neighborhood, we go to the school, we have the friends, we have the bridge is a means of transportation, right? Remember, it's over or through sometimes an obstacle. But in addition to building the bridge, I want you to create a net, create a safety net for the moments where the challenges feel too hard and too heavy so that your children know that they can be supported, that they will be caught, that they are safe, and they don't have to fear because love will cover them. Can I use your discovery call even when I don't have kids? I have a scholarship program for parents with gifted kids. Yeah, you can use the link and we can discuss that. Um, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, let me know. Um, the link is is it in my link tree? I believe the link is in my link tree, but I also will send you a link and we can definitely discuss that. If you know a parent who has a child and the child needs the parent to show up differently, I want you to send them this link to this live. I want you to send them or connect us because I would love to be in touch. I would love to. I help busy, intentional parents access the resources their children need to be successful in school and in life. I know at our core, we're asking three questions. Do I have enough time? Am I making the right decisions? And will this work? Tell me I'm wrong. I've spoken with enough parents. Those are the three questions that come up in different forms. And so I want to really help you understand as a parent that you have the power to create the net of success. I think that's it. That's all. I'm about to pull up. Look, this bridge to me is so interesting. Um, and it's in light of all that's going on in the world, it's really nice news to hear that something is being done, that a structure is being put in place. Um, it's expected to be completed in 2023, and the structure and construction began in 2018. Um, yeah. So, yeah, that's 5 years of construction. This thing takes time. So let that be the word of encouragement that you don't have to do it all at once. But maybe your first step is a discovery call. Maybe your first step is a phone call. Maybe your first step is a conversation. Either way, I want to help you. I want to encourage you. I want to inspire you to take the first step. All right? Take the first step. All right. I'll see you mañana.